Good morning. Riley and I are now on day number 14, I believe, May 16th. We started the day a little while ago, and we got off to another late start today, but it's a nice day, very nice day. It's not raining anymore, the sun is out, and we just got up to the top of this mountain that we're on, and there's this very nice view out there. I don't really care so much about the views. They're fine, but the hiking is hard enough that the views are just views. Everything is a view. The bushes are a view. Riley is a view. The tree is a view. The sky is a view. And that is a view. So everything is a view. Everything just blends in for me. Come on, Riley. Come on. Good boy. So we had another rough night yesterday. I think my last recording yesterday was from a picnic table at Smokies Gap, where we had found some trail magic that was left by a local church group, which was very much appreciated. They gave us, they prepared several small sandwich bags, and they included a bag of salted peanuts and a packet of mini sandwich crackers with peanut butter in between, and they also included a fruit-filled Nutri-Grain bar. So it had nice salty flavor to it with the peanuts and the peanut butter crackers, and a nice sweet flavor to it with the fruit-filled Nutri-Grain bar. So it was very delicious to eat that. And from there we had 2.4 miles to get to the shelter we were planning on staying at, which is Brown Fork Gap Shelter. And to get there, we had to do a very big ascent, including what is known as Jacob's Ladder, which, according to my guidebook, it includes 600 feet of elevation gain over a stretch of 0.6 miles. So it was, I mean, like everything out here, it was challenging to get through, but the most challenging part was that it actually started to rain again. Very heavily after we left the picnic tables and before we got to the shelter. So I had my rain jacket on, but Riley did not have his rain jacket on. And it started to rain so fast that I decided, hey, come on, Riley. Riley is stopping for some reason. Started to rain so fast that I just decided to continue on and not try to fish out Riley's rain jacket from my pack. So Riley got pretty soaked, but that did allow us to get to the shelter as quickly as possible. But yeah, that was an unfortunate ending to the hiking day yesterday, in that we were feeling pretty good after the sun came out in the mid-afternoon, and then we just got soaked again and wet and cold before bedtime. Riley is taking in all the smells this morning. And so then it was I was extremely thankful to get to the shelter. There were only 2 people that were at the shelter, and this is going to take a little being careful getting down, so I'm going to put the camera away and I'll check back in later. Taking a little break here. We found a nice campsite at the bottom place between these 2 mountains. Guess you could call it a gap. And Riley is catching up on some nutrients. So as I was saying, we were very thankful, or I was very thankful to get to the shelter last night. There was, like I said, there were only 2 people there when I got there, and then there was 1 guy after me that came. So there was 4 people in the shelter, but it was big enough to hold at least 6, so we had enough room to spread out. I was kind of cold though in the shelter. Riley's rain jacket, or his jacket, got wet in the rain last night, and so I decided not to put it on him because I figured it would just make him colder during the night. So I ended up putting giving him my puffy jacket to put over him, and I just wore my orange shirt here and got in the sleeping bag and liner. And I was warm enough. I wasn't freezing, but I wasn't super cozy. And also Riley took up the whole the width of the pad, so I was kind of sleeping with my bottom on the hardwood floor of the shelter. Anyway, I feel like I'm complaining a lot. But anyway, so as a result of that, I decided to sleep in this morning with Riley. It was still cold, or it felt cold when we were waking up in the morning. So we slept in till about 10 o'clock before I started getting ready. And then we finally were able to hit the trail about 11 o'clock. I feel like the hardest part of the trail is really just getting up in the morning and getting everything ready for the pack and hiking through the cold and the wetness of the rain and dealing with all that. The hiking is hard too, but the dealing with the weather, specifically when it's cold, and dealing with the rain when that happens, which feels like the majority of the time, that is, I feel like, even more of a challenge than the hiking part. So we're glad that today is actually sunny and we don't have to deal with rain, at least for the present. And I also was able to work out Riley's accommodations for the Smokies. So as I said yesterday, the plans with Standing Bear Farm did not work out. I called them yesterday and the owner didn't seem like she wanted to take on a pit bull. So I was able to contact Loving Care Kennels, which is located in Tennessee. And I've confirmed that they will be able to take him. I just haven't confirmed if they'll be able to take him today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to get to the Smokies, to Fontana Dam today, and see if it's still possible for them to pick him up at the end of the day today. If not, hopefully they can pick him up tomorrow. So that's all for now, and we will check back in later on. We're making progress. I think we've done about 5.2 miles on the day since leaving the shelter. And we just got down to this road crossing. Riley, you gotta cross the road, buddy. And the trail continues over there. There's double white blaze on the side of that tree over there. Come on, buddy. Let's go, Riley. There's a car coming here. Come on, Riley, we gotta go. We just passed some trail maintenance crews doing some work on the other side. All right, Riley wants to take a break here. We're just passing Cable Gap Shelter. Come on, buddy. Go ahead, Riley. So this means that we now have 6.7 miles until we get to the Fontana Dam Shelter, which is our destination for today. Very nice. And AT continues this way, I believe. Riley, come on, buddy. Guess we can check it out for a bit. Very nice. Salad dressing. All right, I think we're going to take a short break here. We will check back in later on. So Riley and I are taking a break here at Cable Gap Shelter. We're not super tired, but Riley's been a little sluggish today, so I figured it'd be nice to take a break, and I decided to take my wet socks off and let my feet dry out. My feet they've been feeling pretty good most of the trip, but the past several, and even the past few days, they've been feeling good, but my feet have been stuck in wet socks for the past 3 days, and right now they are feeling like I'm getting at risk for getting some blisters on the bottom of my feet, just because they've been stuck in wet socks and just continuously damp throughout the day. So like I do take my socks off at night and let them dry out, which is great, but I figured it would be a good time to take the socks off in the middle of the day, so that they're not just totally damp throughout the day, and they can at least have a chance to dry out, and also give my socks a little chance to dry out. It'd probably be better if they were in the sunlight, but yeah, maybe I can just move that over here just for the time being. And while I'm here, I thought I could just kind of do a quick tour of the shelter. So this shelter, looking back at it like this is probably about as big as the cold spring shelter that I stayed at a couple nights ago on, I think it was Monday night, where there were 4 guys sleeping in the shelter. So yeah, it's not very big. This is one of the smallest shelters you're going to find on the AT, and I'm guessing this was built a long time ago. Like the Cold Spring shelter was built in the 1930s, so I'm guessing this shelter was probably built around the same time. And there's these things. In case you don't know what these things are just things that people they've hung with paracord, and they're just meant to be places for people to hang things at the end of the day, particularly when it's wet outside. You can hang shirts or a rain jacket, something that's wet, so it can dry out. You can also hang your pack from here at the end of the day, so it doesn't have to be lying on the floor, and you can save floor space for sleeping space. And these things here, they put bottles and cans above the place where you hang your stuff, so that if there's a mouse that wants to get down, the bottle and the can is designed to prevent a mouse from actually reaching whatever's hanging from here. So these things are pretty common at most shelters. And they also have various nails that are put in. So if you don't have one of these things hanging, you can just hang your stuff from a nail. Although I think it's easier for a mouse to get at your stuff if it's just hanging from a nail, as opposed to hanging from this rope contraption with the bottle in between. And lots of times people will sign their name or write stuff in the shelter, so you can see lots of hiker graffiti here that's been accumulated over the years. And this thing was left in the shelter. This is like I assume this is a pillow. And I was trying it out. It's pretty comfortable, actually. And I was thinking I already have an inflatable pillow, but I am thinking that I'm going to take this and try it out for a bit. It does feel quite actually luxurious for a hiker pillow. It's just foam, and it's got some tape on it, so not sure how durable it'll be, but it definitely feels comfortable. And I was also thinking I could put it in my pack in between my bear canister and the front of the pack to give my back a little more cushion. So I'm really curious if it'll make my pack feel a little more comfortable if I can put this at least at one end of the bear canister. And then I have another foam pad that I could put at the other end of the bear canister. So I might as well try it. This could serve a dual purpose of giving my back more comfort during the day and also give me like even more comfort at night with a nice pillow. So, and this right here that somebody left, people aren't supposed to leave food behind, but somebody left some pizza sauce. So I actually opened it up and took a sniff, and it smells like it's not spoiled. It smells like it's still fresh. So I'm gonna pack that out and do my hiker duty of cleaning up the waste a little bit. And I might actually try it when I get to Fontana Dam if I have like a bagel or a tortilla to put it on. So just wanted to give that little tour of the shelter area while Riley and I are waiting here. And we're going to be headed off in a bit, and we'll check in later on when we get to Fontana, or before that. All right, so Riley and I are still back at the shelter. Hello. And we're going to be heading off soon. I just wanted to show in my guidebook what we have to do to get to Fontana Dam. So this is the AT AWOL guide, and we are down here at Cable Gap Shelter, mile 158.9. And so then it continues on to the next page. So you can see right here, this is where we are, and then we have just a little bit of an uphill here. The elevation here is 2878. And then we continue to go uphill, and the elevation is going to get up to actually a little over 3,400. So we have about 600 feet of, a little over 600 feet of elevation gain, like immediately after we leave the shelter. But then as you can see from the profile, from there, it's all downhill until we get to Fontana Dam Shelter here at mile 165.6. So we have 6.7 miles to go to get to our destination today. And we just have a little bit of an uphill over the next mile and a half, and then it's a little bit of slight up and slight down and slight up, and then all downhill from there. So it shouldn't be too bad. Riley is taking advantage of his break here, and I'm definitely glad that I'm giving my feet a break. I definitely think it's not good to have feet be in a damp state for too long. And I feel like my feet are right on the limit of like getting blisters. So I think it's much needed that I'm taking the socks off and letting them dry out here. So very pleased about that. All right, so we'll check in again later. All right, Riley and I are back. We are making our way to Fontana Dam Shelter. It's all downhill from here until we need to cross a road that's basically 2 miles away from Fontana Village. And once we cross that road, then we have like another 1.2 miles, I believe, on pretty easy flat terrain to get to the shelter. Riley is behind me right now. Riley, how are you? Good boy, good boy. Okay, so it is getting late. It's still light out, but I believe it's a little past 7:30 in the evening now. And we've taken several breaks today. After leaving the cable gap shelter, we've taken at least 3 breaks. And Riley actually had a paw issue. Hey, buddy. I looked behind and he was requesting to take a break. Like he stopped walking, and he was kind of holding his right front paw up in the air, like he didn't want to put weight on it. And so we took a break, and then eventually he stood up and started sniffing around and started looking to eat some grass. And anyway, so that was concerning. And I've just been kind of tending to his needs. He's walking fine now. We've both been putting a lot of stress on ourselves. And he doesn't have shoes like I do, and he doesn't like to wear shoes. So I think we're going to be able to get to Fontana Dam shelter today. He's not protesting at all. He's walking fine right now. But I think the break that he's going to get to stay in the kennel for the few days while I hike through the Smokies will be a very welcome rest for him. So, and then when I pick him up after the Smokies, then I'll just see how he's doing and just continue to tend to his needs. If we need to take breaks or give him a longer rest, then we'll make that happen. I'll make that happen. But anyway, so just wanted to give that update. We should be getting to the shelter, I'm guessing, around 9 p.m. tonight. Sorry, Riley. Just landed awkwardly on my ankle there. And my feet are continuing to feel not so great. It was definitely good that I took my socks off earlier and aired them out. But I think I need more rest for them, so it will be good when I get to the shelter to take my socks off again and give it a full night's rest. And hopefully my socks can get dry soon, so I'm not walking around in wet socks. Okay, that's all for now. All right, quick little update. We've run into the Benton-MacKay Trail again. So we just came out that way, and there's this dirt road, and looks like the Benton-MacKay Trail northbound now follows the AT for a short stretch, but southbound it diverges on this road, and I'm sure it would connect up with an actual trail at some point. But yeah, I like the Benton-MacKay Trail, so I like to capture it when I can. When we were near Springer Mountain that first day, the AT intersected the Benton-MacKay Trail like 5 times, and I don't think we've seen it since, but this is the next place that we saw it. How you doing, Riley? Okay, we'll check back in a bit. Riley and I are on the last mile before reaching the Fontana Dam shelter. So we already crossed the road that separates the AT before this section from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park section. So we're not officially in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, like in the back country, but we are, I believe, in the front country portion of it. And yeah, so between the road that separates the front country from the rest of the AT and the shelter, it's 1.1 miles, and we're just following the trail here that leads to the shelter. Over there, beyond the trees, is a big body of water that, and I believe Fontana, the dam, is over to the left. So this is Fontana Lake, I believe. And the trail here, this 1.1 mile section of trail, I'm thinking is right up there possibly with the easiest 1 mile of the AT, of any other 1 mile section. This portion, there is a little up and down, but nothing too steep. And the trail is absolutely beautifully maintained. There's like hardly any significant rocks, just nice packed dirt underneath your feet. Nothing to surprise you that would cause an experienced hiker to trip or anything. So very pleasant hiking here. We're going to be there pretty soon. Riley and I are excited. All right, we'll check in. Yeah, so I guess today we started at Brown Fort Gap Shelter, which was mile 152.8 in my AT guidebook, and the actual Fontana Dam Shelter, I believe, is mile 165 point something, possibly 165.8. So I think we're doing about 13 miles today from the shelter, Brown Fort Gap Shelter, to Fontana Dam Shelter. And we're closing in on 9 o'clock, so we're getting to the shelter right about the time that I expected. Riley has been hiking well ever since his paw issue, but I'm sure he will still be I guess welcome the several days break that he's going to get from hiking, and I hope he can rest up whatever he needs to. And I'm hoping to do larger miles in the Smokies myself, compared to what we've been doing, and hopefully when we get out of the Smokies, that will give us some breathing room in case we need to take shorter days. So there's the lake again. The daylight, we're using just about every photon of daylight here, every ounce of daylight. All right, bye for now. We're continuing to get really, really nice views of the lake out there. And we can see the mountains on the other side, which you have to cross the dam to get to. Just gotta be careful that I don't trip and fall off the side of the mountain here. All right, very nice.